There was a house in a field on the side of a cliff, and the waves crashing below were just said to be a myth. So they ignored the warnings from the ships and the docks. Now the house on the cliff is the wreckage on the rocks. Nothing could fix this building's flawed foundations. The scaffolding and stilts were the laws and legislations. This house was doomed, but they didn't care. They had invested in a system that was beyond repair. Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast. I'm Harley Neville.
I'm Guy Pigden'd. Oh, that sounds like a Harley Neville original.
It does, but it's actually the person that I've plagiarized most.
I was going to say, it sounds like a Harley Neville original because it's the guy that I rip off to create my Harley Neville originals.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Yeah, that's Rue Reynolds from Enter Shikari. That's the intro to one of his albums. His best album. Their best album, I should say. And I feel like it's quite fitting at the moment, to be honest. Just seems like I'm pretty sure I actually used those lyrics before quite a while ago, but it seems extra fitting at the moment, what with Boris being Prime Minister, Trump being President, and just 12 years left to go. They say, the scientists are saying we've got 12 years before we can turn around, climate change or do basically irreversible damage if we keep going the way we are. So
is that the official 12-year?
Yeah,
is it?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. They're saying we've got 12 years where we think we can still kind of, mitigate this enough. But basically, they reckon if we keep going the way we are, there's a 12-year tipping point. Now, you never know. It's really hard to predict things. But I think we're already seeing so much, shit go wrong. And it's like, fuck, doesn't inspire you to go out and, make babies, does it? You're like, well, what's the point? I'm just going to have to watch them die.
Yeah. What I can't remember one of the technologies that's right, triggering volcanoes.
Yeah.
That's going to be the go.
Yeah. Well, I saw an interesting doco called The Great Hack just the other day on Netflix, and it's all about how a company was used to they got data from Facebook and then used that data to target specific people who could be persuaded to vote one way or the other depending on who was voting, who was paying them. And the Trump campaign was paying them, and so was Brexit. And basically they used Facebook data to get in there and go, well, this person, he could go either way. All he needs is a bunch of anti-Muslim shit in his timeline and he'll vote right, or all he needs is a bunch of this and he'll vote left, or whatever. And they call them the persuadables, these people that can be targeted and that will vote one way or the other. And that's how they can influence, all of democracy anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to just be America either. And so that was pretty interesting. It's on Netflix. It's called The Great Hack. And I shared the trailer on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley.
Yeah, sounds like, I think they released, that was also one of the things that they released in the Trump presidential campaign, something about that.
Yeah, a bunch of people, there's been fallout from it. That's what the Zuck was getting interrogated about from, you've seen those images of the Zuck where he looks like an alien. That's all to do with that.
And, it's, unfortunately, so what you're saying basically is Facebook has wrought a great evil upon us.
Well, yeah.
Facebook targeted advertising.
It has
wrought a great a desolation on the world.
Yeah, well, they might have if it can't be controlled, and that's the problem. Is less than scrupulous people can use this information however they choose to, because we don't have any rights to find out what information they have on us. And it's saying each person has 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever data points on them just based off their online profiles, so they can gather all this information up, what you like and what you dislike, and from that they can deduce whether you're likely to vote one way or the other and all that type of thing.
Well, we need that info for our older marketing campaign. That's what we need.
Well, I'll call up the Zuck and see if he'll pass that along to me. He has been firmly reprimanded recently, though, so I don't think he'll give it to me.
Speaking of sort of targeting advertisement campaigns, I also read an interview article that someone shared about a Norse Netflix kind of comedy show.
Yeah, I read that too. In fact, I've got it right here as a shortcut on my desktop because I was so inspired.
Yeah, which basically talked about how they sort of paid for their own marketing to get Netflix to bump it into.
They spent $18,000 of their own money,
and then another 30.
Was that
a bit later?
Right? But they started with 18,000 to see how it would go,
and it went very well.
Yeah.
From targeted Facebook promotion to basically the idea
from city to city as well, like specific. Like you'd target in Auckland, you might target one particular type of person, like the Ponsonby, Ponson boys and Ponson girls, or whatever your target demographic is. You target them specifically on Facebook, and then they all show up, and they're the cool, influential kids. So suddenly your shit's cool.
And so the idea was that they targeted enough people to trigger the Netflix algorithm, so it basically recommends this show because enough people watch it that it starts recommending that show. Because the thing is, it was essentially like Netflix has two types of shows. It has their Netflix originals, and it has shows that they just buy. And for shows that they just buy, if it's kind of a small-scale thing, which is what this TV show was, they don't necessarily pay for any marketing. They kind of just dump it on their thing and see what happens. And so knowing that, the sort of producer and director decided to sort of pay for this marketing to try and sort of generate it into the Netflix sort of preferred watchers without Netflix's help. And they did that successfully. And now Netflix is going to make the next 2 seasons as a Netflix original, so they won't have to do that anymore. Yeah. But it was pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, well, good for them. Good for them.
It does, and they're like, a stroke of genius, and they're like, $18,000, not much by marketing standards. All of those things are true, but when you're an independent filmmaker and someone says, hey, you want to drop $18,000 on marketing? You're sort of, you get a bit depressed because you don't have that.
No.
Look, you get a bit depressed if they say you want to drop $800.
Well...
Yeah,
which is the current marketing budget.
Yeah, which is
probably
probably a fair approximation of our budget.
Yeah.
But I think probably one of the most disturbing things I've learned about filmmaking, in my time as a filmmaker, is that the quality of your work actually matters much less than you think it does.
Oh, way less. This is why there's so many big successful, people. It's because they get their marketing right. Yeah. It doesn't matter about the
actual content. It's almost like if you believe and sell it as a great, amazing thing, kind of people are glamored into believing that through your marketing. And I don't get me wrong, I guess that's what we're talking about, as has been the case for thousands of years with snake oil salesman and snake skin salesman or whatever.
Snake oil, you had it right the first time.
But in this kind of online indie filmmaking world, the most disturbing thing I ever sort of found about it, I never even thought about, before the zombie film came out, I never even thought about marketing in the sense of paying money for it. I thought about it in the sense of you got to create a trailer, you got to have a cool poster. Someone puts those up.
Yeah.
Someone shares. Well, actually, I thought you share the trailer and you create an online buzz, which we did with the trailer.
Yeah.
But
million views on the teaser.
But I never thought well, hang on a second. Actually, you have to spend as much on the marketing as you do the film, and the marketing is actually more important than the quality of the film. All of those things I came to much later.
Yeah. Rude awakening.
With Great Depression.
A rude awakening in your 30s.
Yeah. So that is unfortunately the if you say, oh look, my film cost $30,000, well, you better hope you spent $30,000 on marketing, or maybe your film won't be grossing $30,000.
Yeah. Yep. Especially if it ain't getting into any festivals, which does not help the hype train.
Sure doesn't.
Nothing to report. Currently nothing to report.
Well,
not a single...
Rejections to report.
What? Oh, yeah, who have we been rejected by?
I can't remember.
I don't remember their fucking names.
Well, no, I mean, just...
I keep their filthy names out of my mouth.
Just the other day, the New Orleans Film Festival rejected us.
Oh, fuck those cunts.
But, fundamentally, all of them have rejected us so far.
Fuck them all. Fuck all those cunts then.
And it's disturbing on two levels, because essentially, on the one case, it's very depressing depressing. You spend all this time making this film. You want to believe that it's good and that people will recognize that it's good and they will put it in their festival. And we've just been kind of waiting around for it to get into festivals in a sense, because that's actually really fun when you get into festivals. It's actually probably the moment where it kind of seems all worthwhile, because you get to rock on up.
Yeah, you get treated like a star.
Yeah, sometimes you're treated like a star. Even if you're not,
mostly.
You're treated with great respect.
Yeah.
And you kind of walk into this sea of fellow people and like, yeah, you made a film, I made a film. We all made a film here, didn't we? We're all cool guys. We're all artistic.
Yeah.
We're all,
we all understand how much work it is.
Yeah, we're all like cool dudes, basically. And this whole event is there to validate our coolness and our film being in it. And we haven't gotten that. We're not getting those things. So you've got that on the one hand, and then obviously you get rejection after rejection, and you go, okay, well, what's the problem here?
Yeah. Because what's the common denominator?
Yeah, what's the common denominator?
It's my film.
The answer is the film. And so you're sort of like, okay, so then you're starting to second guess, like, did I just lay a fucking egg? Is that it? Is this what happened? And all this time, is that what happened?
Look, it was always going to be an egg. It's a $7,000. It's got a $7,000 budget.
Yeah, and then also then you get all this depression from all the rejection, because each kind of, you feel like it's a the film is in a grave, right? And it's in one more dirt being piled onto the grave that is your film, and obviously you're in the grave with it, with your clutching your film, hoping for a hand up, but you just get another layer of dirt thrown upon you.
Excellent analogy for filmmaking.
And then the kind of the third issue here is that they all fucking cost money.
Yeah, well, so you're spending.
So then you're essentially paying for someone to tell you that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're giving them money. You're giving them like your sort of hard-on day job money for this artistic dream, this to kind of fuel your artistic passion, only for them to turn around and go, no, your artistic passion and it sucks. So it's really not going well. I mean, let's just leave it at that. Right. I think it's safe to say that.
Yeah, well,
it's grim tidings so far.
I think the thing is, I do think it's fine as a movie. I just think that our big issue is, maybe we should have had like a press kit which we put with it when we submitted it to the festivals somehow. It's Film Freeway. You submit through Film Freeway. Yeah. It kind of seems like, that you should have like a poster and a trailer and all of this stuff all kind of put together, and they're like, oh yeah, we've got the media pack, and they get caught up in the hype.
To be fair, I think they've got a lot of those things on our submission.
Yeah.
Like a trailer and a poster.
Right.
And maybe some images as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're all attached.
But what about like some sort of like, I don't know, media press kit, where it's like some sort of hype, some sort of online, I don't know, comments, I don't know, some sort of like a hype reel that says how cool it's doing, how everyone loves the trailer or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some sort of hype reel.
Well, Sam, our listener, has just chimed in with a quote from a book he's reading. Make art, make money, lessons from Jim Henson. And the quote is, picture yourself spending a day in wasted art, because that is what the labor of a successful artist looks like.
A day in wasted art. As in what? Being an artist for the day, but it not really achieving anything.
Yeah.
Because that's the labor because that's what a successful artist had to do to get there.
Yeah. And then imagine an unsuccessful artist looks like at the back end of that.
Yeah.
So yes, it's all very depressing. That's not very good. So that's the little update there. How we're doing there.
Yeah.
Not well is the answer. But also, I mean, we should probably say that our short film is not doing well either.
No,
I mean, but that was more of a shot in the dark.
It was a shot in the dark, yeah, for sure. But I've got a backup plan for that anyway. Got a backup plan for that supercut. What is now currently known as Asylum short film will get rebranded back to Harrow the director's supercut,
right,
and go on the same platform. And I have spoken, I've made inquiries to see if this is possible, and it seems like it is.
Made some inroads.
Yeah, so it'll be a Halloween launch again. So we'd do it on Halloween this year if we haven't gotten into any festivals with it. We launch it on the same platform, Watch Me, on October 31st. Now, none of this is obviously locked in. This is what I'm angling for at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, but it seems plausible. Like I've had a conversation.
Now, are we gonna put No Caller ID on our YouTube yet? That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. So I've got a plan for No Caller ID too, because Screamfest LA asked us it got officially selected at Screamfest a couple of years ago, and they emailed me the other day asking if they could put it onto their YouTube channel, and they've got 150,000 subscribers, I think 150,000 or something like that. So but we couldn't release it at the time because it was still on TVNZ on demand, which we didn't really tell people about because we didn't really make any money out of it, and we wanted to save the hype for when we had control of it. And then so it's been up there for like a year or something like that. And anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it uploaded to the Screamfest channel, and then I'm going to get a link in the description leading to our channel where it will also be uploaded.
Cool. Because I mean, I'm less like, I think it's good that it's on the Screamfest one as well, but I'm more interested to see if it gets a lot of views on our channel.
Well, obviously we want the views on our channel, but that's not really, how the internet works. You've got to spread it out as far as you can and hope that it gets some momentum. And so that's a great place to start, because that's 150,000 horror lovers. Most people that are subscribing to the Screamfest YouTube channel are either horror lovers or horror filmmakers themselves that have been at the festival. So it's an excellent targeted audience for our content. So I think it will actually get way more views on there, and that's okay, as long as it has a link in the description back to us. And even if it doesn't, if it just is out there getting a million views or millions of views in various other horror places, say it pops up on Screamfest Horror YouTube channel, and then a whole bunch of other places take it and put it up in their places, that's all good stuff, because in the credits it still says your name and mine, and it still says Pigville Productions.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for someone to essentially... so it has hundreds of thousands of views on our channel or Screamfest, whichever one. And then, like all the great directors, someone options it to turn it into a feature film, and we make millions of dollars.
Yeah, and given that feature film is already half written.
Yeah, well, a bit less than half written, but it's coming along.
Right, there is a feature film taking form, though.
It is definitely taking shape,
and it is inspired by the events portrayed in No Caller ID.
Harley's most challenging role to date by a long freaking shot.
Do you reckon it's more challenging than Dog Rooter from Only in Aotearoa?
I think so. I think this is going to push you past Dog Rooter.
What about Disgusting Hairy Man? I did have to go to a dark place for that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was your greatest comedic performance.
Right.
Like, that can't be refuted.
No.
We can never take that away from you. And perhaps you'll spend your whole life searching to top that role comedically.
Yeah. If people haven't seen it, go onto YouTube. You're going to have to sign in because it's been flagged as adult content, so it's R18 or R16 or whatever. You're going to have to log in. You look up Disgusting Hairy Man Pigville, and then you will see it there. And it is our very first upload, and it is the video. We uploaded it in 2006. It's the video that got me my beer lover following. And it did go viral, and then it got flagged as adult, but it was getting about 1,000 views a day at the time, which was viral in 2006.
Yeah. Oh, it completely blew up. We were just shocked, and it was just going up and up and up and up, and then it just stopped when it got hit with flagged as inappropriate.
Yeah, flagged as adult content. Then
but that makes that plays an integral part in the project season 2.
Yeah.
Disgusting Hairy Man. So
it'll
be making its triumphant return.
Yeah. Well, have you done some writing on that?
Well, not really. What I did was I looked at what I'd written already.
Yeah.
And I sort of went back through, and I was like, this is good shit.
Well, you haven't sent it to me.
I was like, this is fucking funny shit. I'm not sure if I did or not.
Because I feel like you sent me. I feel like you did
might have
send me
just sent
some
you the outlines.
Yeah, but I don't think you sent me what you've actually written yet. But I would like to read it because there's a bunch of stuff that I want to put in there. You know, like well, that disgusting hairy man thing was one of my suggestions. You might recall.
I'm not sure.
he loves it. He loves trying to every single time he steals my
really.
ideas. That was my idea. I said they drive past in the car and go as they go past, and it was literally. I think I have the fucking email being. I emailed it to you.
Well, perhaps you did, but actually, I'm taking it in a more interesting direction than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're going a different way.
Well, I'll be very interested to see. But I think my version of it was something along the lines of you share the video or something and it goes viral when I am on hold for a commercial and then I lose.
No, that's it. You got it.
Yeah, I lose the commercial because of that. And then, and I'm also, I don't know why, but somebody drives past and goes,
and probably what they'll
I'm like, what the fuck?
And probably what they'll do is they'll spray like shampoo all over you or something as they drive past.
Okay.
Like they're just driving past and there you go, and spray all over you, and
all
you're
right.
just your life is.
You always just take it one step too far, Guy.
Oh, that's great.
Just take it one step too far. But yes, so that was my idea. This was the classic. But so I also want to do there's one that I always think about at the gym. I just imagine me in character as Harley from the project, taking the documentary crew to my gym and showing them what I do.
Yeah.
As I'm all hairy and all that as well. Plenty of room for comedy there.
Yeah, so I am re-looking at that, and I'll try and finish that off.
Yeah.
So not in the not too distant future. So yeah, that's all cool. That's all happening. I will also just quickly share a personal story on the podcast. I had a huge falling out with my girlfriend.
Oh. And now he's talking about it.
As relating to film submissions for older.
Yeah.
Which she was helping with. Yeah. Had a huge blowout over that. So, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but...
Well, you'd best not on account of the fact that she doesn't have a platform and you do.
I'm not worried about that. That gives me the great advantage in any argument.
It's absolutely an advantage.
In any argument.
The propaganda will always be on your side.
Exactly. I'm like Trump tweeting out stuff, because I've got all these followers and she's got none.
Yeah.
So, but I guess my point was that even in festival submissions, this film is fucking me.
Yeah.
Why?
Simply because it's causing domestic bliss.
Yeah.
Disrupting your domestic
violence.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Long distance domestic violence.
Domestic disaster. All over freaking festival submissions. So this is what we're dealing with right now. But yeah, so no, that was all I really wanted to touch on there. Hilarious stories of failure and that sort of thing. Well, we should probably mention that I don't even live here anymore.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say you wouldn't know it to look around my room, but I am moving house. I'm starting to move house tomorrow, and then I'm moving everything all official and sleeping at the other place the day after. So that's happening pretty soon.
And you've got, and if you're watching the live stream, you got a full pack of toilet rolls just sitting behind us, like a full wank mag. Like if you imagine like the machine gun mag of jerking off being toilet rolls. Yeah. He's got a full wank mag. Locked and loaded and ready to go, just sitting behind us.
Yeah, well, look, here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I am going to have an ensuite for the first time in my life. So that's pretty exciting, right? No more chamber pot for the nibs. I'm looking forward to that. I've never, moving up in the world. I'm moving up in the world. So that's exciting. But yeah, it is not all dicks and farts around here at Pigville Productions Head Office. Times are a-changing, and this is how most dreams die. Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
Star Wars quote.
One moves out to the burbs with his missus and knocks her up. The other moves to Dunedin temporarily to buy a house and meets a 22-year-old stripper and knocks her up. And then bam, the dream's over. That's it.
So you're angling for that 22-year-old stripper.
Well, not a specific one, but just in general.
You haven't singled out anyone specifically
not a specific
to perform that girlfriend duty while you're in Dunedin, who's a stripper who's 22.
And going to get knocked up.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. So, yeah.
So I've moved out. I've moved into my apartment, which is, again, actually only a temporary abode. Not sure where I'm going to go next. But, what's worse than moving once? Moving twice.
Yeah.
What's worse than moving twice? Moving twice from the 4th floor of an apartment. So I'm not really feeling all of this. It's fucking with my chi.
Yeah.
Fucking with my chi big time. It's already cost me silly amounts of money.
Yeah. So you crashed your car.
Crashed my car.
A while back. And then when you
Still getting that fixed, by the way. I think we talked about that on the last podcast.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
And it's now currently with the panel beaters, and I'm driving around a courtesy panel beaters car.
Yeah.
Which I'm now deathly afraid of damaging.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed a scrape on the back of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember
being there before.
Now, I didn't do it.
But someone might have.
Yeah. In a super tight apartment complex frickin' car parks.
Right.
When I wasn't looking. That, obviously unscrupulously did not leave a note if that in fact is all true.
Yeah.
But it could have been there before, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they give you, when you get a courtesy car, they normally circle any damage on the thing that you sign.
Yeah.
Nothing was circled.
Nothing circled.
And now I'm seeing the scrape.
Yeah.
So
just circle it on your one and just hope they don't notice.
Circle it on my fucking bank balance.
Yeah.
So I crashed my car. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Guy's poor. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
He crashed his car. Wasn't really his fault. Fuck you. And then as I was moving, I crashed the frickin' truck.
So you crashed the moving truck.
Being a cheap ass.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. Being a cheap ass. Because I didn't have that much to move. I literally had a set of drawers, a bed, and an electric desk.
Yeah.
Those were the big ticket items I couldn't fit in my car.
But then also you have 85 boxes of shit.
Yeah. But I'd actually moved all those really beforehand. So it was those were the 3 things that I couldn't move. And rather than get movers, I decided to be a cheap ass and get a truck.
Yeah. Yourself, and drive that yourself. And get a mate to help you.
Yeah. And we went into the car park. Well, first we checked the height of the car park.
A different mate, thankfully.
We checked the height of the car park, and it was like, sweet, we've got heaps of room. All good, bro. All damn good. So we drove into the car park.
In this big moving truck.
And then we sort of got a certain way in, and we were like, damn, that roof seems to be a lot lower here than it was before.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got out, and we're like, oh, shit, we can't actually go any further.
Yeah.
And what we didn't realize and still didn't really...
you're like, so we'll just unload it here, right?
Yeah, so we'll just unload it here. We'll just unload it.
Take all the shit upstairs.
Take all the shit upstairs. We can't go any further. Turn round again, nerve-wracking time. And then we went to go back out and realized that it almost seemed as if the car park had shrunk.
It was like Alice in Wonderland.
It really was. And it was like, man, it now looks like the truck isn't going to fit, but we just fit in here. But what we didn't realize, well, one, when we fit in, it must have been by a cunt here that we escaped.
Crass. Very crass.
A single cunt here that we escaped.
Incredibly crass. Out of nowhere.
Scraping the truck on the way in.
Yeah.
But then we'd unloaded everything.
Yeah.
And
it was like the TARDIS. You see the TARDIS from the outside. It's one side, then you get in, it's much bigger. Yeah. This is the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the TARDIS, but this is the retardis.
So, who's being offensive now?
Abusive. Crass.
So we unloaded everything and then attempted to go back out. And to my great dismay, so I was like, shit. Well, I'll just get I'll get in the back.
Yeah, weigh it down.
To weigh it down a bit more. Yeah. But taking all the stuff out, and it wasn't even that much stuff.
Yeah.
But that cunt here's difference was enough that as we went over the bump, like the speed bump, I heard an almighty scraping. Yeah. And you have to imagine that I was shitting my pants already before this. Yeah. I was like, fuck, we've got this truck basically trapped in here.
Well, you would have to go upstairs, get all your shit, load it back into it. Yeah. And then drive it out, and then take it all
load
back
it
up
all
again.
back out again.
The long way. Up the
stairs and through the car park while we're outside where there's no actual parks even, I might add. Yeah. So all of this stuff, and first I heard this little, as he was driving, a little donk. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, we can't even get underneath. Yeah. He's just hit it straight on the front of the of the thing. Yeah. And then there was a back up and a meh, meh, meh. And you got to imagine that I am sitting on my mattress.
Now, were you sitting
in the back of the truck? Yeah. With the doors closed in complete blackness.
Okay, but where did you position yourself?
Like sort of in the back of the truck, kind of back middle of the truck.
Right. Sounds like you should have been directly above the wheels because you're trying to compress the suspension.
I would have been, I guess, not quite. Yeah, I wouldn't have been.
You want to be probably as far back as you can get.
Well,
anything, right?
Possibly. But anyway, so I heard that.
Should have had the nevs there. I would have mathed us out of there, bro. I would have used the maths, bit of physics. I would have got us out of there.
Did you fail maths?
I failed both of those things. I got.
That ended your dream of being a pilot.
Was my how terrible at maths and physics? I was.
Stupidity.
I had to become a meme creator on the internet instead of a pilot, of an Air Force pilot. All because of my maths.
All because of your accursed maths.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we backed up, and then he took it at a slightly different angle, and we just started going over the bump, and I just hear this.
Yep.
And that was it. And in that moment, the dread in the pit of my stomach, the tears welling in my eyes, just overwhelmed me for a second. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we got out and we were like, and there was of course, the 5 stages of grief, you know, but denial being a bit, it's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
Barely touched it, man. Oh, it's just a bit of paint.
That was there before.
Just a bit of paint. It was probably like, I think when I looked up there, it was already a little bit damaged. So they'll never even notice the difference. There was justification. There was denial. There was anger. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, fuck. And then acceptance.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's fucking $500 extra excess on top of the $125 I paid for the rental of this vehicle.
Yeah.
And my life is fucked.
Yeah.
And of course,
and you have had, and that's all official. That's your debt.
That's official.
Yeah.
So that's all, and also not only that. Oh my God. Anyway, if you think about it, a mover would have been $150 to $200.
Yeah, so it's $85. Well, it's $80 an hour.
Right,
it's $80 an hour plus a half an hour call out fee. Yes. So if you have them for 2 hours, it'd cost you $200. Because it's 80 plus 80 plus 40. Yeah, so $200. But
to try and save $75.
Yeah.
And really,
and have to do all that work yourself.
And do all that work, including taking
get your friend to have to.
Taking an electric desk up 4 flights of stairs and breaking it in the process.
Yeah, the electric guy bought a trendy hipster stand-up desk with a motor on it that can raise and lower the desk so that he can stand there and type for a while and then sit down and type for a while.
Or stand and masturbate for a while and then
sit and masturbate for a while. Yeah, as is more commonly used for
not productive work.
Script was an example. Perhaps a bad example. Perhaps a misleading example of how you actually spend your time.
So, but to be honest, I love that desk. That desk is one of my best purchases in recent memory.
Yeah.
So I'm very upset that I half broke it on the way up. And I have no doubt in my mind that when it has to be moved back down in a couple of months, it'll break more too completely.
Yeah.
which will be another $500.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's
Yeah.
real cool. That's real good.
Yeah, and also
everything's going great, guys.
Now me on the other hand, I just hired the two guys in a truck. I was like, well, I'll just hire the two guys in a truck and pay the money because it's $200, but I mean that's not too much more expensive anyway. And fuck having to move all that shit around when you can get a couple of burly bros to do it, But then you said you were like, well, I wouldn't be surprised if you were. What'd you say? You said you go. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it worked out, Harley. That you just Harley Neville'd your way through it.
Just Neville'd your way through it.
Just Harley Neville your way through this whole thing, and here I am crashing trucks.
Yeah.
But really, Harley Nevilling it in that particular instance is just doing some research and making a wise choice. So I Harley Neville shit all day, every day. I'm Harley Nevilling shit. That's what I do. I Harley Neville shit morning, noon, and night.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you fucking Harley Neville'd your flat as well.
Well, I would argue that if anyone Harley Neville'd anything, it would be Guy Pigden'd. Because you Harley Neville'd your way into a flat, which is an entire apartment to yourself for $100 a week. Now, if you hadn't crashed the truck, that would, result in savings over the few months that you intend to stay there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you Guy Pigden'd it as a little bit as well.
I Pigden'd my way
yeah,
into the flat.
Yeah, but you Harley Neville'd into the flat, but then the moving was handled by Guy Pigden'd.
Well, also, I mean, that flat, in some ways it's good, and in some ways it sucks. Because one of the worst things about it, well, apart from being on the 4th floor and surrounded, and no freaking internet.
Well, you've got internet.
No, I don't.
You literally have no internet.
Oh, I have my phone.
It's coming. It's coming.
I have my phone.
You've got internet coming. Right.
ADSL, bro.
Yeah, ADSL. ADSL.
Well, I'm just saying, welcome to the dark. It's like that. I'll be waiting for the dial-up hum on my freaking.
Yeah. Well, remember back in the day when it was just like South Dunedin free Wi-Fi, not free Wi-Fi, free dial-up internet. I still get horny whenever I hear that sound. That
you start chubbing up.
I just start chubbing up straight away as soon as I hear that.
Your body knows what that
time.
means. Your body has an instant reaction and knows what it means for you.
Oh yeah. So loading like 1/8 at a time. The image would load 1/8 at a time from the top of the screen down, and I'd be like, oh, that's an eyebrow. That's an eyebrow. That's definitely an eyebrow. Oh, I can't wait for the next bit to load.
I can't wait for the eyes. Yeah. Also, I will just say, I would happily pay much more to be moving to a place that I wasn't moving again.
Well, yeah.
Like, I cannot at all relax or...
Well, the thing is that when you told me when you were moving in that basically you could stay there for as long as you wanted, within reason until this place, to whatever reason you need to get out. But that basically you stay there for quite a long time. And I was like, well, that does sound quite perfect.
Yeah.
And if it's just holding you over until your girlfriend Titchia arrives, it makes total sense, right? But then... maybe not if you're moving in 3 months and you've really got to set up the internet and do all that moving and then
buy a fridge.
Unset up the internet, buy a fridge and like get a whatever else you got to get.
Buy curtains.
Yeah.
Curtains
for crying out loud.
And that's the thing is like, I kind of maybe... Well, no, I didn't because I said I'd only be there for a few months.
Yeah.
And then it was sort of confirmed like, so obviously we're expecting you out in a few months. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because
originally when you said it, you said that she said you could stay for as long as you wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, that's a hell of a deal. I was actually thinking, fuck yeah, when Titchia comes back and Guy moves out with her to wherever they're moving to, I'll be like, knock, knock, motherfucker, can I come stay at this flat?
So, also for some reason, the hot water in the shower only lasts about 3 minutes. But the hot water hasn't run out.
Yeah.
It's just the hot water in the shower. It's almost like they've got some sort of fucking clamp on it that fucking goes, that's what you get 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I know you're using water.
Yeah.
We don't want you using those utilities.
Right.
Eat a fucking
But
dick.
what happens? It just goes cold?
Yeah, it just goes cold. But
Yeah.
then if you step out and you test the hot water,
Yeah, there's still hot water.
there's still hot water, just not for the shower.
Yeah.
The only place you need it.
Well, yeah, that would. Well, I mean, I don't
Greatly
know,
distress you.
is that? Well, obviously, I can't have my luxurious shower wanks in 3 minutes.
No, far from it.
Fucking unheard of. With the exfoliating glove. Can't do that in 3 minutes. You got to go through all the pain first before it becomes pleasure, you see. So you can't do that in 3 minutes. It just can't be done.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for sharing that little tidbit about your personal life.
No problem. No problem. I've got no one else to talk to nowadays. My isolation is complete. When I move into this new house, right, so I'm moving into a place with just one other person and an ensuite. And I don't know this guy, but we had been Facebook friends for 3 years. And the way that we became Facebook friends was he saw my old flatmate's wanted ad from Trade Me. Now, this is a secret that only Guy, me, and 150 of our nearest, dearest 5150 friends know. But on Trade Me, it's free to extend your Trade Me ad every 2 weeks. You just got to extend it until it sells. And we were advertising for a flatmate 3 years ago, and I put this ad up, and I wrote a funny ad and put a wee poem in it, and I put a link to the Guy and Harley documentary about I survived a zombie holocaust. It's now had 35,000 views, because every 2 weeks for the last 3 years, I just renew that motherfucker. And this guy contacted me. He was like, hey man, I love your ad, because people are contacting me all the time. I'm a total time waster, wasting motherfuckers' time while they're busy trying to move house.
And they're stressed out.
Stressed
They're
the fuck
desperate,
out.
and they come across this ad
And
they
they
think,
send a big email.
my life is
This is
solved.
exactly what I need.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I'm going to contact him. He's so funny. His poem's cool. And then, and then they contact me and they go, hey man, yeah, cool, because the flat available. And I'm always like, oh, sorry, no. Or either just don't reply, or I'm like, sorry, no, it must be booked. Sorry, we've filled it. And then this guy 3 years ago, or whenever it was, he contacted and he didn't get the flat. Well, no, he contacted me and I said, hey, sorry, no, it's full. But I was probably lying, because it was probably just this advertising.
It's probably just bullshit.
But anyway, I can't remember what he said. I don't know what he said. But I said, yeah, sweet, feel free to add me on Facebook. And then he added me on Facebook. And then we've been Facebook friends for 3 years, but we never spoke. And then I posted the other day saying, I need a flatmate. I need a flat who's around. And then he messaged me. He was the first person to message me. And he lives just around the road, close to a craft beer bar, which is very important to me. I currently live close to a craft beer bar. It's also close to a gym. That's also important to me. I currently live close to a gym. And I don't know if there's a bakery or not, but there's a chip shop, which is better, because around here there's no chip shop. So that's pretty important. So anyway, and it's got the ensuite. So anyway, that's how he found me.
We should just... I think it's important to acknowledge the ensuite dilemma, though.
Well, it is important to acknowledge the ensuite, because this didn't really occur to me.
And it didn't occur to me until you told me about it. And I was like, man, this could be the worst thing ever.
Well, because here's the thing, right? So at this house, it's a 2-bedroom house, and each bedroom has an ensuite. What that means is there's no public toilet in this house. So any guest that comes over needs to go into either my room or my flatmate's room to take a shat, right? As far as I'm aware, there's not a third toilet in that place.
Yeah.
It would be really weird if there was.
Yeah.
So I'm sending people into my room to shat, which is not great.
It's never a good look.
It's good. It's not a good look, because I don't want them to look into my life and see how miserable it is. But it's not good because I don't want to smell their shit in my room either, once they're gone.
That sweet fecal smell
left
permeating your room.
My safe space.
Your room and your room only.
Yeah. And then but the big issue really is that I am a single man, and this is a filmmaking podcast.
It's a podcast about our lives.
And so, sometimes, I go on dates and all of these types of things. And what would happen if
and all of the types of things that happen on the dates. The dates, things happen on them sometimes, I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of when things happen on dates.
What if one of these sweet princesses does find her way in my den of iniquity, and she... firstly, what happens is I need to take a shit. What if I need to just take a long piss and do a big fart? Okay, and she's hanging out. So let's just imagine I'm like, hey, yeah, come around, Netflix and chill. Let's do it. I've got a big I've got plenty of inches for you, baby. 55 inches. You know what I mean? Come around and watch something. And then so she's gonna come around and watch something, and what's going to happen is that I'm going to need to take a fucking shit at some point. Well, in the morning if she stays. Otherwise, it'll just be a big long piss and a fart. But what happens? What happens then? What do you do?
But also, haven't you?
What happens if something just comes up? You go, hey, come round. We'll Netflix and chill. We'll Uber and Eats, and then let's have a curry.
Yeah, nice curry, tasty curry.
Let's have a nice tasty curry. It'll be yum. Next thing you know, I'm through a thin door, a tiny partition between her and me, crimping out as silently as I possibly can a large and stinky shit. But of course, the issue is that even if she can't hear it, she's not going to see it. She's not. She's going to be able to smell it.
Yeah, it's like you'll walk out guilty, ashamed. Your face red from both exertion and embarrassment, and she will look at you, and there'll be a moment of like, I took a shit. Yes, obviously I took a shit. I've been away a while.
Yeah.
But really, the big giveaway being this horrific smell that
we're both pretending, we're both ignoring.
That we're both she's trying not
to.
But
it's hard when she's dry retching.
Yeah, she's trying not to screw her face up in absolute revulsion and disgust.
Yeah.
But this poses an important thing because women have to shit too.
Well, exactly. So let's imagine that I meet a young woman and things go well between us.
22-year-old stripper.
A 22-year-old stripper or something, and then
that might be your friend on Facebook.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, befriending strippers on Facebook. I don't befriend strippers. Not that I have any issue with strippers.
That are 22.
But let's imagine that I meet a woman and she wants to go, home and she stays at my house finally, after a long courting process, of course. And then, she
lots
needs
a
big shit in the morning. Lots of stooling.
Dad joke.
It's probably number two.
Number two, probably.
Yeah. So what happens? So she needs a big old shit in the morning. I'm just sitting outside waiting for her. I'm just like, she just comes out and I'm just sitting on the bed looking at her, looking shocked or happy, whatever.
Looking quite surprised. And this is an important thing because also if you break down the night, right?
Yeah.
The night where a girl might spend some time at your house.
Yeah.
Now, without fail, one of three things will need to happen.
Yeah.
From either one or both of you. From the time period from when you arrive home to the sometime in the morning after.
Yeah.
One of you will have to take a shit, almost inevitably.
Well, the thing is, I feel like you're picturing the dating scene as it was when you were 20, and you're going out to the club until 3 a.m. Then there's definitely some big shits going down. There's no doubt about it. Got that late night McD's feed, all that bourbon, all that cheap bourbon.
That horrible cheap bourbon.
Yeah, what was it? Do you remember the name? There was
Kentucky.
Was it Kentucky? Yeah, it probably was Kentucky.
Mississippi Moonshine.
There's Empire Vodka. Anyway, you've been drinking all that stuff and eating a 3 a.m. Pie or McDonald's or something like that. Yeah, there's going to be some big shits. But I'm 36 years old. I'm 36 years old. All of my shits are big shits, right? I don't need to go out. They all smell equally bad. They all smell like a 3 a.m. McDonald's shit. This is a fucking problem when she's gonna, come around.
But I just feel like, we're talking about a 12-hour period here.
Well, if you're having a big...
What are the odds of a shit not materializing at some point this time? But also, let's just say best case scenario. Neither of you need to shit.
Yeah.
There's got to be some farts going down.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, if you're hanging out for 12 hours and then you're going to go...
not going to need to fart?
When are you going to fart if not when you go to the bathroom? That is the designated farting space.
That's the designated fart zone.
Exactly. And so if you... What's going to happen there? Obviously, the designated fart zone is basically the bedroom.
You've really... I will say...
What's the point of going behind that door? I might as well just drop him right there. She's gonna hear them. Gonna hear them and smell them either way.
You've really painted yourself into a corner with this ensuite in a way that I never thought would happen.
Yeah.
I thought it was all roses, but far from it.
Well, as is often the case for the bachelors of the world, it looks like it's all fun and games, but then you realize the downsides of ensuites.
And you see a photo on Instagram of your
I don't even know what.
Your ex-girlfriend.
Oh, what? I don't understand how my ex-girlfriend comes into this conversation about shitting.
No, I'm just saying that you're a bachelor, but...
Shout out, Angie.
Are you... There we go. There it is. I thought we were going to miss that for a second there.
Now, look here. Okay, back to moving. Right, moving house. In this case, I'm only moving in with one other person, and I've never really done that before in any type of long-term way. Just living in with one other person, I've never done that. I've always had like 5 flatmates or 4 flatmates or whatever because it's cheaper. And but. Like, the big problem with moving in with a flat full of strangers when you're me is that you've got to, firstly, I'm obviously ridiculously hairy, but I'm not much of a shirt wearer, right? So, particularly in summer. So, if you live with me, you need to deal with the fact that you're going to see my hairy shoulders and back, as I'm sure Guy can attest, the T from one shoulder to another, which then goes down the middle of my spine, is something that's been etched into Guy's memory, into his sleep, into his dreams.
To my very nightmares.
His very nightmares. So, like, if you, and most people aren't going to be expecting that, are they? They go, oh yeah, he seemed like a nice guy, he can move in. And then I'm walking around topless with my hairy back out, right? Now, that's not that big a deal, but it's never nice to have to broach the
well, you say it's not a big deal. It's a big deal to them.
Well, yeah, it is a big deal. It is a big deal,
yeah,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I have to broach that topic at some point. Like, because in a real life way, right? This is not some big comedy show. Real life, right? How do you have...
Our life is not a comedy show for people. This is not a series of unfortunate events for you to just... burst into laugh tears at, like Sam on the thing.
On the live stream. Yeah, well, so, like, I have to actually, like, the day that I want to, it gets hot, and I want to, or it's not even hot, I'm going to the, oh no, I don't have a shower, I've got a shower in my room, in this particular case. But, in a normal flat, right, you want to go to the shower or whatever, and you're going to go topless, or you're going to come back from the shower topless, or it's hot, so you take your shirt off, because you get extra hot, because you're fucking hairy, right? So, of course, you have to take your shirt off, just to, like, stay at the right temperature, regulate. Anyway, like, it's never nice to have to broach that topic with them. To actually, the first time to take your shirt off. And then secondly as well, and this is also important, is that I'm an actor. Okay, I'm a poet. I'm a podcaster. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a performer, God damn it. And what that means is that I have to have a conversation with them at some point and say, look, guys, look, if you hear me walking around the house late at night, muttering about murdering people, don't worry, it's totally fine. I'm an actor. I'm just rehearsing, and that's another conversation that I have to have with them. It takes a while, it takes me a while. I had to settle in here. It'd take a wee while because I felt embarrassed when I needed to rehearse something, because I'd be like, well, everyone can hear me saying these random words sometimes about killing people.
Funny follow-up.
Complete strangers.
Funny follow-up story to the shitting on ensuite story.
Yeah.
So, this morning, I got up, about midday.
Yeah.
But it was because I was on night shift.
Yeah.
And first thing I did, I took a shit in my, ensuite.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't open a window. I didn't really do anything. I kind of just let it hang.
Linger.
Because
you love to let it linger.
I was leaving, right? So
you're like, fuck it, I'm leaving.
I'm out of here.
I don't give a shit if my couch smells like human feces.
By the time I'm back in 10 hours' time,
the feces particles will have settled down. They'll be on top of the duvet and they'll be on the couch and all that stuff. I won't have to worry about them.
They will have dissipated into the air. And
depends if feces particles are lighter than air.
Oh, well.
Because otherwise they're going to settle.
Well, either way, it won't smell bad when I get back.
No.
And so anyway,
you're all smushed into your blankets.
I was just rocking along and I was about to leave, and I walked out the door and then I hear someone go, Guy. And it was my or the owner of the flat, my
Yeah.
landlord.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "Hey, good." And she goes, "Hey, is it all right if an electrician goes in and just has a little look at the sockets, because he's down in my other apartment now, and I can just send him up, and I don't save some money." And I was like,
You're like, of course.
I was like, "Oh, yes." But all I could think about in the back of my head was that smelly shit.
Yeah.
And the problem was, because I was like, I knew that, like, this is the thing, like, whether or not you super conscious of it or not, like, if your landlord's going around, you'd make some effort to
tidy up or whatever.
To tidy up and make things look just moderately presentable, which I absolutely had not done, because I wasn't expecting anyone to pop by.
So you shit on the bench.
So
and just left it there.
Left this big
shit on the bench.
That the smell, I'm sure, was going to go away by the time
you thought
I got back.
The turd would have evaporated by the time you got home.
But so I just knew, and I was like, oh man, she's going to think I'm she's not necessarily going to put two and two together here. She's not going to go, oh, he just used the toilet. Yeah. She might just walk in and go, why does my apartment smell like shit?
I'd say that's probably what happened.
And so, this is like, again, the I guess the dangers of an ensuite.
Hold that thought. Talk to the live streamers, because I need a pee.
Well, I kind of need to go to the toilet as well.
Well, I'll go first and then you can go.
All right. Well, it's now become the Guy show, so I hope that my adventures in the moving the thing has been amusing to you. Now, I should probably I don't think I ever got to talking about these before the Great Debate Part 2. But a couple of things that I have movie reviews that I'd just like to get through. John Wick 3. Is it the best John Wick? I think so. 100% worth a watch. Amazing action from start to finish. Beautifully shot. Beautiful nighttime scenes. Just magical cinematic action experience. Highly recommend. So that's my first review. Second review, Child's Play the remake. Fucking pretty shit. Why is it bad? Well, for the main reason is that Chucky is not a reincarnated doll anymore. He's not a reincarnated murderer in a doll, who's used voodoo to inhabit this doll. That was like one of the cool parts of Chucky. In this one, some computer nerd who was upset that his boss was making him work overtime in one of these sweatshops in China. Basically, he was like, oh, you need to do some more work. Oh, forget it, you're fucking fired. And so he is looking at these good guy dolls, which are basically like AI dolls for your whole house. So you kind of like OK Google, where you talk to the doll. So that is what Chucky became, was an AI doll who'd been taken all his safety mechanisms off because this guy was angry that he had to do overtime. I actually just started OK Google when I said OK Google.
Well, yeah, that all fits in with the Great Hack, which I watched the other day.
I didn't even realize I had OK Google on my phone. So Child's Play, the remake, hard to really recommend, although the greatest thing about it was Mark Hamill's interpretation of Chucky. So Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, voices the doll of Chucky, and he is very good. He's the best thing about it. Everything else, not so great. Also, this is the first time, I think, that essentially they've rebooted a series while the old series is still going. They're up to Child's Play 7 or 8, right? That's still going. They just released the last one last year, and then this reboot comes out while the old one is still going simultaneously. Reboot starring, or the last few have been starring.
It's a microcosm. The filmmaking industry is
fucking insane.
It's a microcosm for it's an analogy for climate change and everything else that's wrong with the world, which is, as long as there's money to be made from it, it will be done. And so what that means is, they'll make $1 million in these things as long as people keep on buying them.
But you never. Normally the reboot is like, 20 years later, or
but nowadays with the internet, we've got an 8-second attention span. We're not going to wait 20 years. What the fuck is a child's play?
But also it's like they fucked up the last one and it's been a few years, so now we're going to reboot it. This one is like literally like the last one came out a few months ago. Let's reboot it.
Yeah. Well,
it's
but that's
insanity.
It is insanity. But if it makes money,
yeah, I think it did okay.
Well, we're talking about it. Got distribution, I guess.
It certainly got distribution. In fact, it got wider distribution than the continuing series has done. Which stars now Heather Dorff, who
our friend,
our best mate.
What? She's in Child's Play.
Fuck, bro, keep up.
Well,
she's been in like 2 of them, or maybe even 3 of them.
Heather Dorff. Go check her out. Heather Dorff, Dorff. Heather Dorff, go check her out. She's one of our mates from Screenfest LA. Yeah, boy, shout out Heather. I partied with Heather last time I was there. What up, G?
Humble brag.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize she was a Child's Play. 8.
Yeah. Child's Play 7 and 8. Child's Play 7 and 8.
Yeah. Well, shout out Heather.
Yeah, so we remember her most fondly from a short film that she did where she... Have you seen it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you not seen it?
I don't think I've seen any short films with her.
So how
I didn't know. I don't think I've seen anything that she's acted in. I just met her.
So how she?
I just met her as an equal, like just in a place.
So how she came on the radar of it was a network error.
I think it's just the stream.
So how she came on my radar is that one of the people at maybe Screamfest, but maybe another festival I went to, had done a short film with her. And in that short film, she cut a guy's dick.
Ooh.
And
like Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah. But like, if you think about a dick being cut off, you think that you would cut it like you just cut it off, right?
Yeah.
But she like went in through the head
and
kind of went upwards, like split it like a sausage.
Like a fish or something.
And you like a fish.
Yeah.
And you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw that happen.
Damn.
And it was that was kind of, I guess, the hook of this film, so to speak, was that you saw this
the
penis
dick
cut
chopped. Yeah, well, you got to push the envelope. Sometimes dick chopping is
I was gonna
the
say,
way to do that.
It really should have been called Dick Chopper.
Yeah,
but they decided to go a different way with it. They called it. I think they called it She. But I feel like Dick Chopper,
same thing, would
have really. Would you consider that dad joke number 3? Or?
No, that was just a horrible misogynistic thing to say. I take it back. I only
can't
said
take
it.
it back
I only
now.
said it for a response.
Can't take it back.
I just said it for a laugh.
Can't take it back.
Terrible.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my story of my 2 movie reviews. I have one more to do, but
okay,
well, go take a piss.
Yeah, you go pee, and we'll come back, and we've got a bit of listener feedback too. Din 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 Yeah. There's an extra yar in there, sorry. This, as you might have deduced, is the intermission. Intermission for the streamers. I've got some notes, but I don't want to. I'll better wait until old mate gets back. Don't need this. So this is behind the scenes. Behind the scenes on the Guy and Harley podcast. This is how it all kind of comes together. It's as exciting as it looks. The pissing. The hanging out. Any questions, sing out in the comments. Although I seem to be having some slight issues with the stream. Hopefully it's still there. Just trying to figure out if the stream is actually streaming or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because we'll just keep going with the podcast.
Yeah.
But seems to be something fishy going on. Cool. Yeah. All right. So you were about to do a second movie review, I believe.
Well, it's actually a third one, but
third. Well, I mean,
counting?
it depends if we cut out all those other ones while I'm away. Do I need to cut that shit out?
Nah, you can keep it in.
Oh, that entertaining, was it?
Oh, people need to know about movies.
Yeah, mine wasn't entertaining. I just waited.
So my last film that I saw, because you know the probably the best thing about my new abode is that it is
commode
right next to both the warehouse and a cinema.
Yeah, so you can buy some 59-cent popcorn and then go to the movies, smuggle it into the movies. Perfect.
Smuggle it in your trousers.
Yeah.
Is that some popcorn in your pocket?
Or you just pop, exploding.
Something to do with
happy.
Exploding popcorn.
I don't know. Salty. You're just salty.
Anyway, and I saw a Korean film by, I think it's Bong Joon-ho. I think the director's name is.
Oh, yeah, Bong Joon, yeah.
Who just recently it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, where I believe I didn't even attempt to submit Older 2.
Excellent shampoo.
The Palme d'Or, Cannes film market. So anyway, it won the most...
Australia, very prestigious place in Australia, the Cannes Film Festival.
Won the most...
Cairns Film Festival.
That's what we should... There's a joke.
What?
Well, we basically say we got into Cannes.
Yeah.
You got into Cairns.
yeah. Put it in the project. Write that down, mate.
So anyway, this film is called Parasite. And it's basically about the upper and lower class to some degree in Korea. And it kind of follows a family who kind of insert themselves, a very poor family, who insert themselves into the lives of a very rich family through sort of grifting them, basically. And it's very fascinating, it's very funny, and it's very interesting exploration of the class system. And also, things get a little bit crazy. This director is pretty awesome. This film is I guess I haven't been watching enough films. Too busy fucking moving.
Yeah.
But...
Well, my whole life is on pause because of this movie.
I know. It's actually, moving is really, the worst thing.
My entire life's on pause. I should be applying for the American film market, which is in November. There's a whole bunch of work to be done. I've got to email people and organise meetings and so on.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. And then once I've done all of that, I've got to apply for the funding to the film commission to get travel money to go there to try and sell Older.
Because it ain't getting into any festivals.
Exactly. So this is our last gasp.
Sell it to the man.
Yeah, and if it doesn't sell there, then we're just gonna shit this puppy out on YouTube and move on.
Nah, get it on iTunes.
Well, just like I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, we made so much money on iTunes.
Well,
now, I Survived a Zombie Holocaust is available on iTunes in most reputable nations.
We don't even,
so go and have a look to find I Survived a Zombie Holocaust and give it a good rating and a comment and all that. That would be. If you are a 5150 listener and you still haven't seen I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, with the exception of Mrs. Wazza because she's new, but the rest of you guys, you got to sort your shit out. All right, you got to get out there and you got to go watch I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. Why are you even listening to this show? How'd you find us?
Fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you? And how did you find us? Go and watch I Survived a Zombie Holocaust on iTunes. This is our magnum opus. This was our high. This was the high tide mark of our career, and now we're on
the decline.
We've been declining ever since. The waves have been receding ever since. The waves from the women are waving at us, as in see you later. So on. The pans are waving at us. So on. See you later.
Yeah. So we're on to our difficult sophomore album at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yes. But anyway, this film, Parasite, very, very good. You do have to suffer through subtitles, which I know is not ideal. But I also think that in this...
Well, these listeners, they're not really readers, mate. The 5150, they're not really readers. They're more listeners, you know? They're the type that, we need an audio book. They need it dubbed over.
They can still look at the pictures and imagine. If they don't even really have to read everything, probably read every second or third bit, they'll still keep up with basically what's going on.
Yeah.
But I will say that...
Watermelon.
In this era that we live in with films, the American film
golf balls
is on the decline.
Yeah.
Which means that, we're oversaturated with Marvel films. People are just trying to make... Are you going to say something?
No.
People were just trying to make kind of commercial crap, and even the American sort of... Jesus, Harley's distracting me at the moment.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, there's somebody on somebody on the live stream, and I'm interacting with them visually.
I wonder if there's someone that someone of the female persuasion.
No, I don't think so. Their name is Daddy Longneck 696. So there's not any women I know called Daddy Longneck 696. I have a feeling. That name seems like if anything, like one of my beer lovers might have swung by.
Well, he said, what are we talking about, mates? Well, we're talking about the decline of the American film industry, Daddy Longneck 696.
Are you happy? Are you happy to tune in for that? Make sure you hit follow.
But anyway, it means that actually, if you really want to see some pure cinema, a friend of mine was talking about the difference between film and movies. Movies is something you go and you're like, it's like Stuber, that one about the Uber driver that gets caught up with the CIA thing, and they go on a wacky adventure together.
But I didn't think it was called Stuber.
Yeah, it's called Stuber. And
really?
Because the guy's name, the Uber driver's name is Stu. Yeah. So
I get it.
So that is a movie.
Yeah.
A film is something like Parasite. It's going to sit with you.
24 frames.
It's going to get under your skin. It's going to make you think. It's going to offer a different perspective. It's going to bring something new. And our goal should always be to make a film if we can. But most of the time you end up making movies. But I highly recommend it. Parasite won the Palme d'Or. Very, very good. Last really great film I've seen in a long time. And also I will say this too about sort of foreign films. There's always a reluctance in me, the laziness of having to read while I watch. You know, there's always this barrier.
Well, that was the problem with Narcos Mexico, for example. I was like, fuck. Sometimes you just
want to blob out. You don't want to think.
Yeah.
And every time I sort of think, damn, do I really want to read these subtitles? And every single time I go, no, I got to do it. I'm a film connoisseur. I need to be inspired. I need to know about what's going on internationally. Inevitably, I'm incredibly happy and pleased and rewarded for doing so. So reward yourself and get out and see foreign films, because really, they're on the forefront of filmmaking, and we're just lagging way fucking behind trying to make
we're not American, but sure.
Well, I would say that I feel like a lot of just the Western film market.
Derivative.
Not derivative, it's just shit, probably. Like, I feel like some of these films, and I don't know if it's the fact that these films are the ones that kind of break through all the way to us. So they're the very best of the best, because they have already against them the laziness of it's subtitles and I don't know any of these people and it's a different language and a different culture and blah blah blah. So maybe it's just that purely what is breaking through is the very best of the best, but they always seem kind of better than best of the best a lot of the time. I am looking forward to the new Tarantino film though.
Well, good. I'm about 4 films behind.
Oh, Tarantino.
Yeah.
I can tell you the last one you did watch
What?
came in your little pants over it too, no doubt. Inglourious
Inglourious
Basterds.
That was a very good film.
you whacked it big time to that one.
That was a good film. It was the right combination of Tarantino and World War II. That's an excellent combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more of that, to be honest. Back to flatmates. Somebody messaged me about that ad that I said that I put up on Trade Me. Somebody messaged me the other day. Now, this is the message I got from them. This person's looking for a flat. They said to me, "Hi, I'm interested in renting the room. I have some questions to ask you. Any animals like dogs or cats in the house? Does the bedroom have a bed, mattress, table and chair? How many people live in the house? Am I allowed to cook in the kitchen? How much is the bond? If I move out, do I give you 2 weeks notice? Do I sign a rent contract? When can I come see the room? What is the address? Do you own the house or are you renting the house? What is your mobile number? What is the ethnicity of the people living in the house?"
That's weird.
Thank you,
That's
Paul.
That's a weird final question.
Yeah, I was like, get the fuck out of here, Paul. I ain't replying to this shit, you weird pervert.
What's wrong with you asking
fuck
about
is the matter with
ethnicity?
you? Ethnicity. But also, like, can I cook in the kitchen? You better fucking cook in the kitchen. You idiot. I don't want to hear about you, Paul, fucking cooking in your bedroom.
I don't want to hear about your bedroom fry-ups.
No, it's dangerous. You can burn the fucking place down.
Yeah. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Now, someone, I should mention this. Now, someone at one of the jobs that I work for at a certain security company was going through the applications. And that had I think it was over 80 applications through Seek. Now, this isn't for an amazing job, so it really puts you into perspective of if you're looking for jobs, you're like, man, how come they never got back to me?
Yeah, you had 80 for this
for this terrible
overnight
underpaying.
Was it minimum wage?
No, but it's close to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be overnight necessarily, but so anyway, in the sort of cover letter, they're like, "I'm really looking forward to coming to work for your team and reaching the zenith of my career."
Hey, look, the guy has realistic ambitions, all right? You can't fault that.
Listen,
you
dipshit.
can't fault that.
You
He
can't-
has realistic ambitions.
You can't
right?
say you reached
That's
this.
what you should have said. You're 36 and you're doing that job now, right? You should have said it when you were, just starting out, and you would have fulfilled your dreams by now.
Guess what? That guy is not getting an interview.
Because they were like, what? Your ambitions are so low that
Well, it's just like you can't talk like a fucking pretentious knob when you're applying for a freaking.
Why? Because he said the word zenith.
Yes, because you're applying for a call center job. You don't reach the zenith of shit, mate. like let's just cut the bullshit here.
Well, maybe
and I know you're trying to use big words.
He just overdid it.
Yeah, he fucking overdid it big time.
Because he used zenith. This is too complicated.
It's just ridiculous. It's like, yeah, I can't even think of a good example. But if your career has reached its zenith when you work for that company, well.
Now, Daddy Longneck 696 on the live stream here, he's got this gag which he desperately wants us to read out on here. So
he's got a real hard on for this gag.
He's got a real hard on for this gag. So I will give it. So we'll share it with the 5150 listeners as well. He says, "Hey guys, if your Uncle Jack helps you off a horse, would you help your Uncle Jack off a horse?" And then he repeated it. In case we didn't get it. Then he said question mark. Then he said guys. Then he said, read this. If your Uncle Jack helps you off a horse, would you help your Uncle Jack off a horse? Good. It's a great show. Excellent. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your interaction. We do appreciate it,
thank
Daddy
you,
Longneck
Daddy
696.
Longneck.
He's the only person commenting, so, you know, like, we can't fault him too much. We can't be too mean to him. He's our only fucking friend. Now, I did have a bit of... well, hang on. Firstly, it is a very, very, very sad episode of Who's Dead this week. Now, I am, of course, referring to Harley. Race. Rest his soul. Excellent wrestler. Even better name. I'm a little shook up. I'm actually a little shook up by his death. So I'm gonna pass you along to Guy, who's gonna tell you a little bit about his accolades. But Harley will be sorely missed.
Yeah, so Harley Race is a very old school wrestler, and unless you watched wrestling in the sort of late 80s and early 90s or earlier, you wouldn't really know him. And even at that point,
I bet Mark Cookson knows him. 5150 listener Mark Cookson, who has some serious questions for Alex Savage, and he has said to me he's going to send them through, but he didn't. But I was meant to have some questions regarding the career of Alex Savage, the tag team partnership, SAS, and so on. He really wants to hear about that. He puts up with my shit for 3/4 of the show just so that he can hear about your wrestling.
Well, speaking of my close personal friend Alex Savage, I can't answer any questions that you didn't ask, I'm afraid. However, what I can say is this. Alex Savage has the biggest match of his career this weekend in Onehunga. At Onehunga Throwdown.
In Onehunga?
Where he goes, or where the tag team of SAS has like a tag team,
the Las Vegas of New Zealand,
tag team,
Onehunga
tag team championship match for the titles. So it's going to be a big one. This could be the crowning moment. The belts could be won. So I would highly encourage you to go and get to that show because it's going to be a very interesting one. And we will be in a very interesting match. Or my close personal friend will be, I should say, of course.
Alex Sandwich.
Alex Sandwich may have been going a little heavy on the beers.
So now, Daddy Longneck on the live stream, he says, what do you think about Fast and Furious? What do you think about Fast and Furious? My answer to that is that Fast and Furious is great, although I'm also happy with like slow and gentle as well.
Dad joke number 4 something.
Well, he's talking about masturbating, I assume, right?
If he's talking about the films, I'd like them to be over.
Well, I haven't seen the film.
I'd like them to be over fast. And if I ever happen to watch any, they make me furious.
Yeah. I hope they're over fast, and when I leave, I'm furious.
Yes. So they are aptly named either way you take it, but it's safe to say that we do not think much of them.
Who's dead this week? Another, it's an anniversary, a 10-year anniversary since my best friend Slade died. My dear dog. It's been 10 years this month since I put Slade down. That's a pretty quick 10 years.
Yeah, I know.
That's a quick 10 years.
Yeah, that's a real quick 10 years.
I only had him for 13 years of my life total. I got him when I was 13. He died when I was 26, and now I'm 36. And I just, the other day I noticed the date, and it was the 10-year anniversary of putting him down, and I was like, fucking hell. That went so fucking quickly.
You had a little celebration. Remember this date on Facebook.
Yeah, you remember the day that your heart was broken forever when you lost your best friend to cancer?
Yes, well, rest in peace, Slade. That is very sad. It is very disturbing that it has been 10 years, which means my dog Sophie has been dead for maybe 12. Or maybe even longer. It is really quite scary how fast time is going.
Yeah.
So, also, we should just give a quick shout out on who's dead this week while we wrap it up to Rutger Hauer. I don't really know if that's how you pronounce his name. Do you know who that is? Harley Neville.
He fought. No. What's the name? No. He's some sort of action star.
No, well, sort of. Do you remember that film Blind Fury?
Yes, I do remember that film, Blind Fury.
He was the main actor in that.
Oh, and no, okay, you're talking about Hobo with a Shotgun.
We are talking about Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah. Of course I'm familiar with Hobo with a Shotgun. But why would you also bring up that random film, Blind Fury, instead of Blade Runner?
I was getting to Blade Runner.
What? Okay.
So he was so
condescendingly assuming that I would only know about Blind Fury.
Well, you did.
The movie about a blind guy with a walking stick
who's a martial artist.
Who's a martial artist and who like pokes a crocodile with his walking stick and goes, "Good boy," because he can't see that it's a crocodile.
So you know it way better than Blade Runner.
Hey, Blade Runner! I have so many memories of Blade Runner that they disappear like tears in the rain. Okay, that's how many memories I have of Blade Runner.
Can you name any memory of Blade Runner apart from that little quote you just quoted that I quoted to you?
That is a very obscure quote, and you quoting it to me was not the first one. And
okay, what's another memory of Blade Runner?
Oh well, obviously there was Harrison Ford.
Yeah, okay, but what did he do in it?
Well, he was a police officer.
He was a
detective. He was a detective.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was
and what did he do?
Detective, and he was finding out like who the robots were.
He was finding out who the robots were.
No. He knows who the robots are because everyone knows who the robots are, obviously. But he is quelling this robot rebellion. He was quelling it. He was discovering it, and then once he discovered it, he helped quell it. Like tears in the rain.
So anyway, Rutger Hauer, who played one of these robots that Harrison Ford quells,
in
Blade Runner, in a roundabout way, you might say that. But Blade Runner is one of the best films ever made, and I highly recommend that anyone who hasn't seen it should go and watch it, or if they have seen it, rewatch it, because it's so fucking good. And it's one of those films that it's like The Shining. Just keep watching it, keeps getting better, keep noticing more things. Anyway, Rutger Hauer was the replicant in it, the main sort of quote unquote baddie, although they weren't really baddies. In fact, if anything, Harrison Ford was a baddie. He was just hunting them down and fucking murdering the fuck out of them.
Quelling the robot rebellion.
Yeah. To be fair, the androids had done some bad things. They killed a ship full of people when they escaped, and then killed the odd person here and there.
Yeah.
But they were really just they were slaves at the time that they did that killing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he has a very famous line, which ends with, all of this, when I die, all of this will be gone or forgotten like tears in the rain. As this rain is falling down, and he lets a dove out of his hand. It flies up into the distance, and he, no spoilers.
Well, you don't need to worry about spoiling it for me, mate, because I've definitely seen it. Absolutely, I've seen that. It was a little bit long. Seemed long. I feel like I didn't make it to the end.
Yeah, so the Sam's greatest memory of Blade Runner is the obviously male stuntman who doubles as a female replicant who smashes through some glass as she dies. So that's
Sam on the live stream.
Yeah, so in the film, essentially, Harrison Ford is quelling the robot rebellion.
Yeah, as I see.
And to do so, he shoots a unarmed woman in the back as she's running away. Mm-hmm. And in slow motion, she goes like running through these plates of glass as she's kind of stumbling and falling down.
Yeah.
And as Sam mentions, it's clearly at some points, although I believe if you watch Blade Runner, the final cut, they've reshot this bit. So they've fixed it.
Yeah.
And they've actually kind of, it's no longer this obvious stuntman. But one of the earlier versions, it's just blatantly a guy stuntman running through a window in slow motion.
Yeah.
After being shot in the back. But this was before the time of CGI. In fact, if you go back and watch Blade Runner, the most sort of out-of-date thing about it is all the sort of monitor screens and stuff for these big kind of like chunky computers. They're not like flat screen and like iPads, which is obviously what has happened.
Yeah.
Also, the date of Blade Runner is 2019. So
yeah.
we're living in the future, people.
And didn't he say in it? The film was set in 2019.
Yeah.
And that character, what's his name? Rutger
Hauer, but
Hauer.
his name as an android or a replicant is Roy Batty.
Okay, so Roy Batty died. So
in
2019, and the actor that played him died in 2019 as well. Dum dum dum.
Kind of weird.
Well, we're in a fucking machine.
Kind of weird. Well,
it's
it
obvious.
is. I mean, look,
it's obvious
man,
that we're in a machine.
If you were to listen to this podcast and the way our lives are sort of playing out, you'd go, "Come on, man, you're being played." As in, someone is playing you, making you do these silly things and like putting you in these silly positions and seeing how you react because it's interesting.
Not me. I'm the masturbator of my own destiny. Dad joke number 5, maybe?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of replicants, I did actually just finish Westworld Season 2.
Which I gave up on.
Which you gave up on, but I feel like that was maybe a premature evacuation. You probably should have just stuck with it for a little bit.
Man, the dad joke's coming thick and fast today. Thick and fast.
Yeah.
Barely keep up with them all.
So you should have stuck it out. I feel like it was actually quite good, and I feel like I actually enjoyed Season 2 more than Season 1, and they've released a trailer for Season 3 of Westworld, and so Seasons 1 and 2 are set within the confines of Westworld, a huge game. But judging by the trailer of Season 3, now I don't know anything that nobody else knows, but judging by the trailer of Season 3, the characters from Westworld are now out and about in the real world, or at least as far as we are aware, it's the real world.
Do you see Sadie Frost naked in Westworld Season 2?
You're going to have to remind me, which one is Sadie Frost? Are we talking hot African American? Yeah. Okay. In the Season 3?
In Season 2.
I'll just check my titty diary.
In Season 2, yeah.
Season 2.
Your titty log notes.
Titty log notes. Episode 4, I believe.
Thank you.
I believe here there might be some nipples there.
Yes, well, she is quite stunning.
But I'm actually not sure, to be honest, really honest. I can't actually remember specifically.
You can't keep track of all those mag rolls that you've got back there and what you've used them for.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the thing I was also going to say about nipples and Westworld and actors and so on was that I had some feedback. I think that's where I was going. Yes, that was it. And then it was to do with Kieran, and I can't remember how, but there was a segue from Westway to Kieran. And Kieran gave us some listener feedback, and he says, and this is regarding the Great Debate.
Oh, yeah.
The Great Debate. He says, it's quite a long one. Just settle in, people.
Okay.
All right. He says, sorry to hear about your struggles, guys. Things will get better. You're both an inspiration. I think it's easy for filmmakers / actors who have become commercially successful. I think it's easy for them. For me, more meaningful admiration and inspiration is found with those people who forge ahead in their creative work despite immense struggles. Let's be honest, anyone can make a great work with millions of dollars or hundreds of industry supporters. You are both extremely talented, in my opinion, and I hope you never compare yourselves to people who have received more support than you. You're just as worthy. I think that you have to measure success for yourselves by a metric that is under your control. For example, how many scripts we can write, or how many accents we can learn. We can't measure ourselves by outside opinion. How much funding the Film Commission gives us, how many likes our video gets, how many people choose to watch our films. All of these things are outside of our control, and to chase these things is to set ourselves up for unhappiness, right? Keep forging ahead, you brave knights. That's Kieran Charnock, star of the film Stray. Bit of a big deal. He is
actor.
Acted in a big show which can't be named, which is coming out sometime soon.
Can't be named because you didn't know.
Because I don't remember the name.
You didn't know the name of it.
And I'd never heard of the book. But it doesn't matter.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Well, I think, those are very wise words, Kieran.
Yeah.
I think that's very well put and well surmised. And I think that you do have to kind of measure yourself against yourself. Are you getting better? Are you making interesting things? Are you kind of forging ahead and creating art that you're proud of? And are you hopefully artistically growing? So I think, man, couldn't have summed it up any better than that.
Yeah, good on you, Kieran. Shout out to Eric Elick on the live stream. That guy's the fucking boss. He's a composer from Los Angeles, and he's live on our live stream right now. Shout out to him. Now, Daddy Longneck is getting upset because he's like, what do you guys do for a living? And we're not answering. He says he sold his semen to pay for his baby mama. And he says, what do we do for a living? And he's like, I can't believe I'm watching Hugh Jackman live right now, obviously referring to Guy and his ridiculous beard. And he's like, but we weren't responding to him because we were busy doing the fucking show, mate. And he goes, do you guys have 3 followers? Just read my fucking comment. Now, little does he know, yes, we have 3 followers on Twitch where it's streaming live. Yeah. But he does not know that the podcast itself, which we are recording live right now, is a viral sensation. And so that's the bit that he doesn't quite get. Now,
we have to serve many masters, Daddy Longneck 696. Can't all be about you, my friend. But what do we do for a living? Well, we're filmmakers.
Yeah,
we're
famous filmmakers from New Zealand,
and
I have been meaning to do a show where we kind of like recap on exactly who we are. Maybe we should do like a nostalgia episode where we just kind of go, okay, so here's where we started.
Here's actually what we do.
Here's where we are, and here's what we're working on. Because I feel like a lot of the people that have shown up are just like, yeah. So I'm fucking Facebook friends with this dickhead Harley, and he posted his podcast.
Yeah,
what's the deal? Little do these people know, I'm a bona fide fucking celebrity, and they need to Google me and fucking act right. Am I right?
Yeah, you were on
First Dates.
Let us never forget.
First Dates.
It's like those World War II memorials. Never forget First Dates. Harley Neville was on that friggin' show, and he'll never stop telling you about it.
Well, you brought it up.
You can see it.
You
can see it.
You can watch it on TVNZ on demand. You can watch it. People should go check it out.
Never forget.
I come across as a charming gentleman.
Never forget. We had a hilarious convo that they cut out.
Yeah, we had it. So Guy and I had a conversation on reality TV.
It was a lifeline.
Recorded in the toilet.
He had to call a lifeline. He had to call a mate.
I called up Guy.
I was standing by.
I said, what the fuck am I going to do?
I was like, bro, is she hot?
No, you go, it was worse than that. I called Guy live. The cameras are recording. I called Guy to sort of summarize how my date on this reality dating show went, and he goes, the first question he goes is she beautiful?
Yeah,
beautiful is so that's such a difficult. Like everybody's beautiful in their own way, Guy.
Well, that was the bullshit answer you fed me at the time. The true answer, of course, being no. She's the opposite of that.
Everybody, that's not what I said at all. I did not say that.
That was what you were thinking.
I didn't think that. You're not a fucking mind reader. You get out of my head. Now, I've got a bit of feedback about I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. This is from Jarrett19.
Yep.
Jarrett19 says, I've watched this film a few times. This was on the trailer on YouTube. I've watched this film a few times on the Showtime network. It's a good film despite its budget. It's funny, and I like that the heroes do not look like the stars of an action film. So thank you very much, Jarrett19, for saying that I'm fucking ugly. Thank you. Thank you for saying I'm an ugly piece of shit who shouldn't be on camera. Well, that's great. That's great. So shout out to Jarrett19.
Yep.
Matt from the Basement Boys. He says, now the Basement Boys, check them out on YouTube. That is spelled THA, so it's The Basement Boys. And they've got a song called Marry the Internet. And if you watch the video, you'll see a cameo from me towards the end. Marry the Internet by The Basement Boys. Now Matt from the Basement Boys is a 5150 listener. Shout out to Matt. And he says, The Great Debate 2 was lit. Fire emoji. That's all. Reminds me so much of John and I from the Basement Boys. I asked who he was in the relationship then. If it reminds him of John, who was he? Is he Guy or is he Harley? And he said, I'm Guy. In the sense that I'm always the negative Nancy and John is always the optimistic take over the world person. And I said, geez, sounds like I need to team up with John. So thanks for that feedback there, Matt, Kieran. And then one more last piece of feedback as well from Sarah Keogh. She says, so I got someone to watch I Survived a Zombie Holocaust last night, and I have to say their reaction was magical. They laughed, asked why he was naked, got frustrated with, it's the hinge. The hinge. It's the hinge. Sorry, it's the hinge. And has now been making little pun jokes from the movie all day. And all in all, I have to say, I loved their reaction to this great film, and I'm very pleased it has brought joy to someone else in my life. So shout out, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for sharing that, because that has brought joy into our lives.
Yes, it has.
And when we're at our lowest ebb, when we see the next rejection and the next $60 cost of older, we just go back to that comment and go.
Thanks. It's all been worth it.
And Karen's comment, and we we clutch onto these precious gems.
Yeah.
And just hold them tight.
The Ellen Show as well.
Hold them tight to our heart and go, one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Some listener feedback from Eric Elick as well. It was talking about my first dates and how that's my biggest claim to fame. He also points out that the Ellen Show, my cameo on the Ellen Show is actually my biggest claim to fame.
As a hairy meme.
As a hairy meme from the internet. Do we have a YouTube channel? Yes, we do, Daddy Long, whatever. It's search Pigville and the number 2, Pigville 2, or you can find the Guy and Harley podcast on there as well, and all these videos go up on YouTube. Now, hold that thought, because I got to fucking piss again.
Well, we should probably wrap it up.
Well, you want to wrap it up? All right.
Yes. I mean, I do have to get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
You didn't tell me that.
Well, I only have to do that every single Wednesday, Harley.
Hang on. I'll check my fucking diary. Hang on. What does it say here? Dear diary, Guy has work at 6:30 today. I hope he thinks about me.
Dear diary, Guy's been waking up and getting up and going to the same thing without fail since February. I've not noticed.
Like, I barely know what fucking day it is, mate. I work shift work in a 24/7 industry. I have no idea what day it is. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow at 6 a.m., let alone what you're doing. Jesus. I know what I'll be doing. Sleeping.
Yeah.
Followed by wanking.
Yeah.
Followed by getting up, drinking a coffee at the cafe, and then gonna work at a leisurely hour, like 10 a.m., and then after that, moving some shit to my new house. That's my plan.
One of the greatest losses in moving has been the loss of our next door cafe.
Well, yeah, it's an issue.
It's
good for my bank balance.
Yeah, well, it's just so sad, because it used to be like, no, I'm feeling a bit hungry. I'll just go over to the cafe.
Yeah.
Now
you got 20 to 5 and everything's cheap.
And now it's like, I'm hungry. Oh, well, I have to go down 4 flights of stairs and walk a large distance if I want anything remotely close to
This guy is living in the fucking heart of Newmarket, and he's fucking saying that he's got no food anywhere.
Horrible.
Heart of Newmarket.
You know, but the funny thing is,
living near the warehouse and the cinema in Newmarket.
If
you know that area, you know that is jam packed. That is an area for pedestrians.
I will say though,
food. It's a shopping area.
There was an article about Newmarket having gone completely out of vogue as both a shopping and dining destination.
It's not. I've never hung out there. It doesn't seem cool to me.
Because and also you have to pay for parking. Traffic always sucks balls, and so places such.
And it's kind of just like generic shopping shit. That you're like fashion.
Whereas
and
places such as Kingsland and Ponsonby,
a bit more trendy,
have surpassed and superseded them.
They have. Now look, I need to go because I'm going to literally piss my pants live on the show, which is something I swore I would never do again. So we need to go. So thank you very much for listening. We will be back. We'll never give up on the show. The next show is going to be live from my new house. And so make sure you come along, tune into this live stream if you get the chance. Otherwise, go to facebook.com/Guy and Harley, and you can hit like and follow us there. You can also go to YouTube and search Pigville and the number 2 and check out our videos and I Survived a Zombie Holocaust and all that stuff. And we also have a Patreon account, patreon.com/Pigville. And I'm also a gay porn star on OnlyFans. And for $5 a month, you can see pictures of me gaping, fisting, autofellatio, and all of that stuff. $5 a month. Go to onlyfans.com and search for Hairy Navel, which is my alter ego so that nobody can find me. Hairy Navel. But don't spell it navel like the Navy. It's Navel, like the belly button. Made that mistake already.
We'll see you later.